Salakia. All right, Shalom, Israel, Shalom, Shalom. First and foremost, I give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh by Hashem Mashiach like Yahushai. That is to say, Yahweh, being named the Heavenly Father, who the world will call God, and Yahushai, being named His only begotten Son, who the world instantly called Jesus Christ. It's Brother Kasadi from WW3 Philly. And through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, we back in this live stream, right? Completely all praise to the Most High, right? We understand the times that we live in, like we started off the last video with, right? Where they're going to want to try to shut us down. They're going to want to, do different agendas to stop this truth and to stop this ministry, right? And like we titled the video, a dreadful sound is in their ears. But again, there's nothing that they can do about this. There's nothing that they can do about it, right? So we're gonna go right back into it. I guess all praise to the Most High. The Most High may have just wanted us to go a little longer through the Spirit. So we're going to go a little longer through the Spirit, right? Let's bring this out. Let's go to, let's go back to it. I was breaking down the verses, and long and behold, the live stream was cut off. Complete madness. Let's go back to Acts chapter 5. Let's get a couple more on that. This is the book of Acts chapter 5 and verse 39. It says, but if it be of Yahweh, ye cannot overthrow it. Right? What sense would it make to try to fight against your God? You're going to lose 1,000 out of 1,000 times. You trying to shut down a live stream, that's not going to do nothing for you. Trying to take away the word because it's getting too hot. Hey, the nations, be prepared for death and destruction. We're just going to put it plain now. We don't care who catches offense to it on YouTube, who's watching behind the scenes, who doesn't want this published. And guess what? It's out there. And it's been out there. Elders way before me have been prophesying of this. Of course, we know the holy apostles are prophesying of this. It says, ye cannot overthrow it, lest happily be found even to fight against Yahweh. Right, let's get some more on this, right? Let's go to Jeremiah. Let's go to Jeremiah, the 5th chapter. So this word is going to continue to cut through the hearts and the ears of these nations, right? Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 5. And I want to get so much on this, right? Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 5. And I believe I want to get, I'll start at Salakia. I think I'm skipping right over it once again. But that's okay, though. I'll come back to that. Lord willing, I'm going to come right back to that. Let's go to Job. And this is Job chapter 15 and verse number 21. I start at 20. I start at 19. Unto whom alone the earth was given, and no stranger passed among them. The wicked man travaileth with pain all his days, and the number of years is hidden to the oppressor. A dreadful sound is in his ears. So this man, this wicked man, the oppressor, and guess what? He's going to hear a dreadful sound. What's this dreadful sound? Yasha Allah waking up. Israel waking up, prophesying, shaking their hand, teaching the people, warning the people. They don't even want our people to be warned. They just want destruction to happen and for nobody to even say anything about it. That's complete evil. That's how they like to get down, though. Right? They grab up the young children. No one there to comfort the young children. Right? And they just do God knows what and heinous crimes because they want to get the easy, weak prey. That's a sadistic man like we was going into earlier. But the Lord sent the prophets. A dreadful sound is in his ears, and prosperity, the destruction, it's like the destroyer, shall come upon him. He believeth not that he shall return out of darkness, and he is waited for of the sword. He doesn't believe that the destroyer is going to return. Who's the destroyer? Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai is that chief destroyer. And they hate that. They hate that a so-called black man, so-called, is going to be the one to slay, chop down, and divide the heathen. This is Jeremiah chapter 4 and verse 7. It says, I start at 6. Set up the standards towards Zion. And what's a standard? It's a banner. It's a warning, a cry. That's what the Lord said this in verse 5. Declare ye in Judah and publish in Jerusalem and say, blow ye the trumpet in the land. And that's what we're doing. The trumpet is blown to gather the people. The trumpet is blown to warn the people. The trumpet is blown to go to war, or it's like it, to go to war. To warn, to gather, to go to war. And right now we're warning that the nations are about to go to war. And we're gathering right now on this live stream, which they want to shut down. But they can't do it. They shut this down, we're going to make another one. And another one, another one, to the Lord tell me to turn off this live stream. And we'll know the Lord told me to turn it off. Well, it won't happen. The Most High didn't want it to happen. It won't happen. This is Jeremiah chapter 4 and verse 5. Declare ye in Judah and publish in Jerusalem and say, blow ye the trumpet in the land, cry, gather together and say, assemble yourselves and let us go up. It's like go into the defense cities. Set up the standards towards Zion. Return, stay not, for I will bring evil from the north. And what's this evil that the Lord is ready to bring forth upon the north? He's talking about the other nations, right? The other nations are about to be sluggy. I wasn't even sharing my screen. That's okay though. The other nations, I'll read this part again, verse 6. Set up the standard towards Zion, return, stay not, for I will bring evil from the north and a great destruction. Right? The other nations are about to destroy Babylon, right? Now, also at the same time, the Lord has Babylon getting ready to invade upon our people. That's why we got to warn our people. We got to tell brothers and sisters, look, Jacob's trouble is at hand. Martial law is at hand. You're seeing it right now before your eyes. Our people that's in the world, they might not know what's really happening. They just think it's ICE, a federal agent, so on and so forth. No, these are actually set up from biblical times. Seeing Trump and these nations, they getting ready to go to war. They just think it's just another war. It'll be World War III, World War IV, World War V. No, it's not set up that way in the Bible. So you need men to be able to break those things down. It says, the lion, who's the lion? The chief lion is Yahweh Shai. On another level, right? On the first fold level, if you want to put it like that, it's talking about Nebuchadnezzar, the Babylonian Empire, who came through, besieged Jerusalem. That's what it's talking about in verse 5 and verse 6 on a first full level. But through the spirit, we know the true lion is Yahweh Shai. It says it's come up from his thicket, and the destroyer of the Gentiles is on his way. And we know Yahweh Shai is on the way. We read that in the last live stream in Revelation, the 14th chapter, in verse 14 on down. But the Lord said, thrust in thy sickle and reap. Reading on. He is gone forth from his place to make thy land desolate, and thy cities shall be laid waste without an inhabitant. For this gird you with sackcloth, lament and howl, for the fierce anger of the Lord is not turned back from us. So the point being is that this dreadful sound is in the ears of these nations. And this dreadful sound is not going to go away. Sometimes you got that itch in your ear and you try to scratch it and it just don't go away. And guess what? That's like this prophecy. It's not going to go away. Right? Let's go to Wisdom of Solomon. These things aren't going to be done until the Lord's will is fulfilled. Until the Lord's will is fulfilled. Let's go to Wisdom of Solomon chapter 5 and verse 1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as afflicted him and made no count of his labors. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear. And on a level right now, that's what's happening. In their spirit, they see that it's impending judgment, but they don't want to hear about it all the time. They know things about to happen, but they don't want a uproar to happen or people to actually try to, lock in and get themselves right. See, they made a covenant with death, and they have to go down to the grave, but they want to bring as many souls with them as possible. Reading on, it says, "They shall be troubled with fear, and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all that they look for." Right? Because they're not even looking for salvation. They can't get it. It's going to be out of the extraordinary. And it's funny that this is out of their mind, but going into Mars, going into these other planets, that's a normal thing. That's obtainable. That show you the spirit, the perverse spirit the Most High has placed upon these nations, chiefly the so-called white man, to think that they can actually go out of this terrain that the Most High set man upon. That's bugged out. Reading on, verse 3, "And they repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit shall say within themselves, this was he whom we had sometime in derision, and a proverb of reproach." And that's at a latter date, right? That's when we actually received our salvation. But they're groaning in spirit right now. I believe Trump just came out and said, what did he just, let me see if I can pull this up. He just said something about, let me just type up speaks about God. Let me see. He just said something about this. Yeah, look at this. Oh, hold on. We don't want to get the whole thing. Just a few days ago, though, this 2 days ago, he essentially was going into how he knows he's going to have to be judged. Damn. I'm not trying to click the whole video. He just spoke about this, though. If a brother can find that and post a clip in the comments so we can go, check that out, Lord willing. Right? But for now, I believe it's in this video, but I'm not trying to go through that whole thing, right? Let me see if I can get it somewhere else. Let me see this real quick. All right. See if I can find this real quick. No, I don't think that's what I was talking about, but let's check this out. So this is from the independent.com. It says, Trump says there's no reason to be good other than to get into heaven. This is complete madness. There's no reason to be good other than to get into heaven. Trump's comment came as he announced a presidential prayer initiative, as he thinks this is what I was talking about. If a country doesn't have religion, then it's going to be very hard to be a good country. So this is what he's talking about. It was something else he spoke on that. I want to see if I can get it real quick. Right, to link up to my point I was making. Where is this at? Let's jump down. Right. Might have actually skipped that part. All right, let's read this. It says, we're dealing, as you know, with all of the different and not just evangelicals, right? Christians. Trump said, explaining his initiative, we're dealing with lots of different faiths, religion, and I felt for a long time that if a country doesn't have religion, doesn't have faith, doesn't have God, it's going to be very hard to be a good country. This is also, more that devil talk. It's kind of like, okay, we need to make sure that we solidify this country to be under one accord, one religion, right? One so-called faith. But the point being, back to it, we know that they don't even serve the Most High to begin with. And we know through the spirit that they hate that we're serving the Most High, that we're actually calling upon the Most High, that the Most High is actually hearing, right, the prayers of the saints, and they want to shut all that down, right? They want to shut it all down, but they can't do it. They can't do it. Let's go to Daniel, the 3rd chapter. It's not the first time they try to do this. Let's go to Daniel chapter 3. This is Daniel 3, and I'm going to jump all the way down to verse. Actually, I'll start at 16. I'll start at 15. It says, "Now, if ye be ready, that at what time ye hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, and dulcimer, and all kinds of music, ye fall down and worship the image which I have made." So they always want us to get down, bow down, and worship to their God and their philosophy and their understanding and ideology. They want us to be practical and get down and acclimate with the society. They want to, what is that called? Escaping me as well, right? But this is where you essentially you convert others over to your Hellenization. That's another word though. But you associate men and you take them from what they believe in and you completely change them into your way and your lifestyle. Right? Read on. It says, "But if ye worship not, ye shall be cast the same hour into the midst of a fiery furnace. And who is that God that shall deliver you out of my hands?" It says, "Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered and said to the king, O Nebuchadnezzar, we are not careful to answer thee in this matter." And we're not. We don't have to think about it. The live stream shut down, we hop right back into another. We don't have to think about it. We got to teach our people. We got to warn our people on what's taking place right now. It says, "If it be so, our God whom we serve is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace, and he will deliver us out of thine hand, O king. But if not, be it known unto thee, O king, that we will not serve thy gods, nor worship thy golden image, which thou hast set up." And this right here, this is that dreadful sound in our ears, telling them that we're not going to get down and worship with them. They hate that. It's a lust, it's a rage within them to get to truly be accepted. That's what they really want. It's in our spirit. It's in our spirit. It must have been in the spirit of Esau to feel like he wasn't accepted by Isaac. But Jacob, he was accepted. And now they have a jealousy, a true jealousy, that same jealousy that even Cain had and not been accepted. But Abel being accepted by the Most High. So it's in their spirit. Guess what, Esau? You're not going to be accepted. You was never going to be accepted. This is why you got a lot of those school shooters. Their mom not giving them attention. Their dad, he doesn't want nothing to do with them. They go on, they playing them video games. People call them all types of names. They go to school, they get bullied and picked all over. People throwing food on them, stepping on them, spitting on them, telling them to get out the way. Then they go back home, they crying, they looking in the mirror, they wiping off the spit. They go in their dad damn gun locker, safe, type in the code, grab the gun, go to school the next day, and you know what happens next. Because they wanted to be accepted, but they wasn't. It's a dreadful sound in our ears. This is verse, I'm going to jump down. Well, I'm going to read on. Verse 19. "Then was Nebuchadnezzar full of fury in the form of his visage." That's his face. His face was all frowned up. Hey, man, tell Nebuchadnezzar to fix his face. It says, "Then was Nebuchadnezzar full of fury, and the form of his visage was changed against Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego." They hate that. Hold on, you're not going to get down with us? You don't want to go to the Christmas party? You don't want to sing happy birthday. You don't eat pork. It says, then was Nebuchadnezzar full of fury, and the form of his visage was changed against Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Therefore he spake and commanded that they should heat the furnace 7 times more than it was wont to be heat. That's a real hatred. It's already known as a furnace. It's already hot. He said, look, we're going to turn up 7 times more. And that's spiritual. It's 3 men, 3 mighty brothers, prophesying, shaking the hand till their shoulders break. Then you got this furnace that's already hot. But because they didn't want to bow down, the furnace is turned up 7 times more. That's Jacob's trouble, and that's what's about to take place very soon. It's already hot. Right? Brothers already dealing with affliction and persecution. Didn't Paul say this in 2 Corinthians chapter 11? Right? The 2 Corinthians chapter 11, and where we at with it, right? Let's jump down to 19, 18, right? We're going to read down. 2 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 18. Seeing that many glory after the flesh, I will glory also. For ye suffer fools gladly, seeing ye yourselves are wise. For ye suffer if a man bring you into bondage, if a man devour you, if a man take of you. All right, yeah, a lot of things taking place in the church of Corinth. Men was putting other men in bondage to the law. Yeah, God knows what. Yeah, God knows what happening right now. You got brothers in Israel who well, he ain't gonna get into it, right? They don't get into it. But you got a lot of just evil going on. We'll put it like that. If a man devour you, if a man take of you, if a man exalt himself, they was accepting these things gladly as fools. So Paul said, well, if that was something to glory of, then I'm a glory of this infirmity in this hell I'm catching for the Lord's sake. And let's see if you suffer that. Let's see if you take glory in that. You love when these fools do these foolish things to you. Let's see if you accept me for righteousness' sake. If a man smite you in the face, you had men getting smacked by other men and they accepted it. You got Esau when a brother wants to go get a nice job or he wants to, whatever, whether he's going in the military, they tell him shave his beard and they accept it. Get the clean shave, completely gone, accept it. We go out on 10th and Market Street and we tell a brother to grow his beard out if he can, and a brother wants to throw hands at us. They suffer fools gladly, but for us teaching them the righteous parts of the law and how to serve the Most High and please the Lord, they don't like that. So this is nothing new under the sun. If a man smite you on the face, I spake as concerning reproach, as though we had been weak. Howbeit wherein soever any is bold, I speak foolishly, I am bold also. So they hate when you're bold. These demons that's on these different men, they hate when you bold and you stand fervent in the spirit. Because you can't be easily, you can't break a man down like that. How can you break a man down that's already been down and the Lord has lifted him back up? How you gonna break that man down? What are you gonna take from that man? Can't take nothing. That man is furnished. He's been through the fire, and you could turn up 7 times more, and he gonna walk back out that door. Reading on. Let's jump down though. It says, let's read on, actually. Verse 22. Are they Hebrews? So am I. Are they Israelites? So am I. Are they the seed of Abraham? So am I. Are they the ministers of a Mashiach? I speak as a fool, I am more. and labors more abundant, and stripes above measure, and prisons more frequent, and deaths oft. He was constantly having death threats, and his life was at stake. It is not just the Apostle Paul. You had, of course, you had Luke that was with him. Luke was catching hell. All the 12 was catching hell. They all died violently, except for John. But John still died violently, but most of the rest were martyrs. Reading on. Of the Jews, 5 times received I 40 stripes, save one. Thrice was I beaten with rods. Once was I stoned. Thrice I suffered shipwreck. A night and a day have I been in the depth or deep. In journeyings often, in perils of waters, right? Being, catching hell, being seaside, right? It's like, you see that? Seaside, right? Being in the water, being shipwrecked. It says in perils of waters, and perils, right? Perils of robbers, meaning what? He was robbed. The Apostle Paul was being robbed. This is the price it takes. The suffering that you have to go through, that furnace that you have to go through in serving the Most High and teaching his word. It says in perils, perils by my own countrymen, and perils by the heathen, and perils in the city, and perils in the wilderness, and perils in the sea, and perils among false brethren. Had false men just creep up trying to act like they, were apostles of the Lord, servants of the Most High, whole time just aspired to liberty. And then immediately after that, depart as if they never knew you. Reading on. In weariness, in painfulness, in watchings often, in hunger and thirst, in fastings often, in cold and nakedness. Right? I want to read on. It's like I might have but that's okay though. That's through the spirit. Reading on verse 30. If I must needs glory, I will glory of the things which concern mine infirmities. Right. So without and within were a lot of hell that Paul was catching. A lot of hell that he had to catch. How much more us in his truth in his present time? So they can turn up the fire 7 times more for us standing bold and teaching the name of the Lord and teaching these prophecies. But it's not going to stop a damn thing. The Most High spoke it surely is going to be done. Let's go to 2nd Ezra chapter 15. Then we're going to get back into it. 2nd Ezra 15 and verse 1. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith Yahweh. So this is what the Most High has ordained. Has nothing to do with me. I'm just another brother. Right? It's going to be another brother, Lord willing. It's going to be another brother tomorrow making a live stream. I know it was a brother he wanted to get in earlier, right? All praise to the Most High. The Lord allowed me to get in today. Tomorrow is going to be, Lord willing, be another brother. The day after that is going to be another brother. The day after that, Lord willing, all Lord willing, it'll be another brother in a week, in a month, in a year, until the Lord call us home, Lord willing. So again, it's nothing whatsoever that they can do. They can try to take down a live stream. That means nothing. Got over 3,000 videos on this channel. Take them down too. Shut down all of YouTube. It's still not going to stop the word of the Lord from going out. But when the Most High wants his word to stop, it will stop. And that's set up for an appointed time. So these are different warnings that the Most High has given us. Because again, we looking at the days of Jacob's trouble, the days of World War III, all these things, they got to happen. So this has to happen too. This 2nd Ezra chapter 5 verse 1. Nevertheless, as concerning the tokens, behold, the days shall come that they which dwell upon the earth shall be taken in a great number. What is that talking about? Taken in a great number. It's not talking about they're gonna be rounded up to go on a party bus to tour the city. Downtown Manhattan, Times Square, going on Hollywood Boulevard in LA, going on a Broad Street or wherever is the main road in Chicago, by the Bean, Market Street, and Broad Street. It's not talking about that. In Philly, it's talking about the great number, meaning Jacob's trouble, rounded up. A token is a sign. The Lord has signs that he's placing all throughout this Bible, and they're being fulfilled in the world so you can see what time you're living in. It says, shall be taken in a great number in the way of truth. What is the way of truth? Well, way is a path. So it's a path of truth. Truth is going to lead to life. So these are truly the paths of life shall be hidden. So what is that talking about? Well, how do you get the understanding to be able to repent, to fall to your knees, to ask for forgiveness, to keep the commandments? Sisters to put on a head wrap and cover up. Stop wearing booty shirts. Brothers to damn stop wearing the muscle shirts. Right? Put on some fringes. Grow your beard out if you can. Right? And do the things that the Most High has ordained. Stop eating that shrimp, crab, and lobster. Stop eating that pork. You're going to get all these different things on the highways and byways. These are the different avenues or ways of truth that's going to be hidden. You're not going to have brothers doing breakdown lessons in the middle of the night in Jacob's trouble, brother. You're going to have it right now. This is it right now. And it's foolish for there to be a harvest and for you not to reap. You holding back your hand. Check that video another time. Brother, it might not be another time, brother. They just shut the last live stream down. Never ever saw an alert pop up on my computer say you got 5 minutes. What the hell what does that mean? Live stream's going to shut off in 5 minutes. And then they shut it down. But then the Lord opened it back up. Let's get that precept. Right? Let's get that precept. Let's go to Job. We're going to come back to this. Let's go to Job real quick. I want Job chapter 12. I believe it's verse 5. This Job chapter 12. And I'll start at 5. This Job 12 and verse number 5. And it reads, it says, he that is ready to slip with his feet is as a lamp despised in the thought of him that is at ease. And I'm actually jump down, right? I want to jump down, get right into it. Verse 14 or 13. Or 12. Verse 12. With the ancient is wisdom, and in length of days understanding. Right, just the Most High. The Most High set up everything from the foundation. With him is wisdom. The Most High doesn't have to go to school at night. He's taking night classes to figure out what's going on, to figure out how to better rule the people and judge the people. No, he has the understanding. He gives it out. And if he wants to shut it off, he's going to shut it off. He wants to open it back up, he's going to open it back up. Because the Most High, he's going to allow his will to be done. Verse 13. With him is wisdom and strength. He had counsel and understanding. Right? You shouldn't be getting counsel from somebody that's not the Most High. Right? If a brother is not breaking down the word and when he's giving counsel and he's not coming from the scripture, coming from the Lord, then why are you trusting that? The true counsel comes from the Most High. That's foolishness to think that's a wise thing to do, to go and get counsel from the ways of this world. Verse 14, behold, he breaketh down and it cannot be built again. So the Lord breaks man down. The Lord breaks down buildings. He breaks down nations. He breaks down kingdoms. And who builds it back up? The Most High. Only if the Most High wants it to be built again. It says he breaketh down and it cannot be built again. He shut up a man, and there can be no opening. Right? The Lord won't take a man's spirit or make a man mute. He can make you mute. I'm talking about that movie. What's that movie? Damn, what's that movie where that damn, I think it was Eddie Murphy. Where I forget the movie. It's like 1,000 words or something like that. Death by a Thousand, some weird movie title name. But he couldn't talk. And every time he would talk, he would lose money. And eventually, or he might have either lost money or he lost his life. One of the two. But that's not what this scripture is talking about. If the Lord want to shut a man up, it's talking about he's taking a man's spirit away. And there can be no opening. Behold, he withholdeth the waters and they dry up. Also he sendeth them out and they overturn the earth. With him is strength and wisdom. The deceived and the deceiver are his. Right? So let's go back into it, right? So before we left off, we was diving into this right here. So Trump is the peace deal was announced today. In mainstream media and these so-called alternative media outlets, it's going down right now. Everyone's kind of in the uproar on how Trump is bringing back this peace to the Middle East. So let's check this video out once again. I don't know if you even saw it from the last live stream I was on, but we're going to check it out right now.
Make no mistake, it looks like President Trump has actually pulled off something here that many presidents before him have failed to do. Make no mistake, it looks like President Trump.
Right, you had Obama. You had and he was very close ties with the so-called state of Israel. In fact, it'd be foolish for me to even list all these presidents that was trying to do this. To be a president of the United States, you need the so-called Jewish man to have his hands in your pocket. He might have hands other places too. But the point is, this is how they got to get down. Because the agenda of America is the agenda of the state of Israel. The agenda of the state of Israel is the agenda of America. These are hand in hand, one with another. Amalek runs this country. You're not going to do nothing without the so-called Jewish man, right, saying you can or can't do it in this society. So how much more where Trump is trying to bring this so-called peace over there to just allow for them to take over. Honestly, they want to get rid of Iran so that way they can have the whole Middle East under control and they can bring about their Messiah that they consider. But it's truly foolish because there's no other Messiah. There's no other savior. They're hastening World War III. They're hastening the return of the true Messiah. Let's go to 2nd Ezra. Right? Let's go to 2nd Ezra. Make sure I'm sharing the screen. 2nd Ezra, chapter 13, and verse 1. And it reads, and it came, actually, you know what? Let me get this real quick. In the previous chapter. 2nd Ezra, chapter 12, and I want to start at like 45. 2nd Ezra, chapter 12, verse 45. And it reads, for we are not better than they that died there. Right? It's going to break something down, right? Through the Spirit. Watch this, right? Through the Spirit, watch this. Reading on. And they wept with a loud voice. Then I answered, then answered I them and said, be of good comfort, O Israel, and be not be not heavy, thou house of Jacob. For the highest had you in remembrance. And when we dealing with these different trials and tribulation, we have to remember to call upon our God. Don't be in a sad mind it's okay to be in a house of mourning. In fact, it's wise to be in a house of mourning, but you don't want to let that house of mourning, now you just staying there. Now you're just always in it. You never can don't want you defrauding yourself of a good day. You always hang your head down. You ultimately losing hope, and you losing that patience that the Most High is giving you. This is why the Lord is commanding us to be of good comfort and not to be in a heavy mind. You give yourself over to that. There's a reason why it's known as a heavy mind. It's like a weight, a big burden that's over you that you yourself, you're not going to be able to lift. If the Most High told you not to put that on you, and he's telling you it's heavy, why be so foolish and stay in that state when the Lord himself is telling you it's heavy? And surely it's not heavy to the Lord. He knows us. He created this. So we need to follow our creator, our God. The nations, they don't got a God. And that's dreadful in their ears. They can't go to get counsel from the Most High. Ask the Lord what to do, and he's going to tell them, yeah, do this, son. No, it's not for them. The Most High has given us the laws, the statute, the commandments, Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, etc. Genesis, the Revelation, and the Apocrypha, for us to know how to operate in these last days. And etc., meaning all the other books, the 80 books that's found written in the KJV, in the Bible, right? Brother might clip this and etc. Anyway, verse 47. For the highest had you in remembrance, and the mighty had not forgotten you in temptation. So when things is taking place, and the Lord say he didn't forget about us, right? Read on. As for me, I have not forsaken you, neither am I departed from you, but am coming to this place to pray for the desolation, to pray for the desolation of Zion, and that I might seek mercy for the low state of your sanctuary. And now go your way home, every man, and after these days I will come unto you. So the people went their way into the city, like as I commanded them, but I remained still in the field 7 days, as an angel commanded me, and did eat only in those days of the flowers of the field, and had my meat of the herbs. Right, so he was at a lower state, so he can receive what we're about to show you next, right? The return of our Lord Yahushua. The second Ezra chapter 13 and verse 1. And it came to pass after 7 days, I dreamed a dream by night, and lo, there arose a wind from the sea, that it moved all the ways thereof. And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. See, why would you be of a low estate, in a heavy heart and a heavy mind, and not fight this flesh, knowing if you make it to the end, you make it to the finish line, you'll be with your Redeemer, Yahushua. The Lord didn't just say, he that endure to the end, the same shall be saved, for no reason. There's adversity, there's trials, there's tribulation that you got to go through. And the only way to really go through it, you got to have joy while you're going through it. If the Lord placing things upon you and it's just too much for you, you just throw your hands up. The Lord not saving somebody like that. You don't even believe the Lord can save you out of that. Yeah, we talking about World War III. Yeah, we talking about Jacob's trouble. But we believe the Lord can deliver us out of that. Reading on. It says, and when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him. That's talking about Yahushua. Every man's knee is going to bow. Everyone. The King of Kings and Lord of Lords is making his second coming on the earth. All things that were seen under him is going to tremble. Everything. And that's a dreadful sound in the ears of the so-called white man. They hate that. They got to bow down to the so-called black man. So-called? Who is this man? They want to say other words. Other N-words. Trump was just talking about the N-word the other day. Says there's N-words that I can't say. It's a damn devil, man. Why he's up on a stage talking about he needs to send troops into these cities, American cities, for military training. What is it training them for? If the military is trained to go to war, then they're going to go to war against these American cities. That's what they're speaking of. Rounding this up, verse 4. And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burnt that heard his voice, like as the earth failed when it filleth the fire. And after this, I beheld, and lo, there were gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of the heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea. And this is talking about Yahweh Shai, right? They're going to try to fight against the Lord. After going to war with each other, they're going to try to fight against the Lord. Now, where is this going to take place at? If you haven't read 2nd Ezra 13, go back and read it. Now, where is this going to take place? Let's go to Zechariah chapter 14. This is Zechariah chapter 14 and verse 1. And it reads, Behold, the day of the Lord cometh, and thy spoil shall be divided in the midst of thee. For I will gather all nations against Jerusalem to battle. Right? Actually, I want to jump down. This is talking about another time, right? Immediately following Yahweh Shai returning on the earth and delivering Yasha'Allah and bringing us to the wilderness, pleading with us face to face, bringing us into the bond of the covenant, as according to Ezekiel chapter 20, verse 33 on down. The new covenant, Jeremiah 30, 31, 31, Hebrews 8 and 8, the new covenant being for the house of Israel. No more having to teach our neighbor. The spiritual bodies we receive, the bodies like the Lord Yahweh Shai, pursuing the book of Philippians, the 3rd chapter and the 20th verse on down. These different things are going to take place. And then you're going to have the nations that are still around, chiefly Gog, Magog, which is really Russia and his allies, trying to join together and go to battle with us. But of course, we're going to overthrow them. Pursuing Micah the 5th chapter, verse 5 on down, Yahweh Shai is going to be our peace. And we're going to have 7 shepherds and 8 principal men to go to battle with these nations and destroy them. Then we're going to rifle their houses, take them captive, take their wives, take their children, dash them against the stones. And that's that dreadful sound that the so-called white man hates to hear. Verse 4, it says, And his feet shall stand in that day upon the Mount of Olives, which is before Jerusalem on the east. So Yahweh Shai will make his second coming, and he will appear in the east. He's going to deliver Yasha'Allah, and he's going to come to America. You read about that in Isaiah the 19th chapter, riding upon a swift cloud. But he definitely will also be in the Holy Land and restored to being once again the Holy Land. Because right now it's unholy. They got pink pride festivals, freakism going on in Tel Aviv. How are you the children of God and you doing ungodly acts in the land of Israel? That's why the Lord got rid of them Canaanites. When you read Wisdom of Solomon, the 12th chapter, replaced them, kicked them out the land, and put us in the land. Then we went off and we got out the land. Now we getting right, and the Most High gonna put us back in that land. Reading on. And the Mount of Olives shall cleave in the midst thereof toward the east and toward the west, and there shall be a very great valley, and half of the mountain shall remove toward the north, and half of it toward the south, and ye shall flee to the valley of the mountains. So what is this talking about? The Lord will appear again in that land. He's gathering these nations together to go to war in that land. They have to go to war in that land. Let's go to Zechariah chapter 3 and verse 8. Therefore wait ye upon me, say Yahweh, until the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination, right? If the Most High is determined, who's going to be against the Most? Who's going to tell the Lord, no, you can't do that? No, we need to have a council. Let's sit down. Yeah, I know you want to. I know you want to do that. I know you want to gather the nations, but that's not really in our plans right now. We're thinking more. Let's put you on calendar for 2030. How about February 2030? How you like that? Who gonna tell the Most High that? For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms to pour upon them mine indignation, even all my fierce anger. For all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. Right, the Most High, when he said, listen, when the Lord speaks like this, you should truly be afraid. You should truly be afraid. I had a precept I was thinking of, and then it escaped me, right? But we're gonna come right back to it, right? Lord willing. Oh, all praise to the Most High. Came right back to me. Isaiah chapter 34. Isaiah 34 and verse 1. Come near ye nations to hear, and hearken ye people. Yeah, we know it's a dreadful sound, but you have to hear it, right? You have to hear this. It's not a if. It's not a maybe. It's not a turn the live stream off this time in the midst of me speaking. It says, come near ye nations to hear, and hearken ye people. Let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world, and all the things that come forth of it. For the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations. How is a nation going to receive salvation when the Lord has indignation upon all nations? That's why them Christians, they can never deal with prophecy. That's why they literally take out the Old Testament. Essentially, that's just gone, right? That's just gone. They don't want to read that. They don't want to hear that. Might read a little bit in Genesis. Might read one verse or two in Isaiah. Don't really like Psalm except Psalm 23. And then they skip all the Old Testament and get right into the New Testament as if something just changed. As if the Lord said, but those my enemies, which were not that I should reign over them, bring hither and slay them before me. As if that's just gone. As if the Lord didn't say he's going to give us a rod of iron to beat the nations into shivers. Roughly paraphrasing in Revelation chapter 2:25 on down. Like he's not going to be the one to destroy the nations. In Isaiah, it's like Revelation chapter 19. Like that, all that just disappeared. Madness. Verse 2. For the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. He had utterly destroyed them. It didn't say some of them are going to receive salvation. Some of them are going to be grafted in. The nations is going to be brought to the slaughter. And whoever's remaining, pursuing Isaiah 14, they're going to be rounded up in chains and shackles. That just is what it is. Stop trying to save the people that don't want to save you. Read on. He had delivered them to the slaughter. Their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood. Now, if this was just hip talk, then what is the Lord saying? You might have a Christian say, oh, that's not what that means. That's not literal. The Most High very literally is telling you he's going to destroy these nations, as we're reading in these different verses. So when you have men talk and speak and say things like this, that there's peace that's going to be brought to the Middle East, it's clearly contrary to what the scriptures actually is saying. Right? Let's see if anything else just took place. Look at this. Wow.
What do you guys have to say to President Trump?
Thank you.
It's Amalek.
Thank you.
You did it.
You did it.
Wow.
Thank you.
This is amazing. Mr. President, we believe in you. We know you've done so much for us over the past, since you became a president, and even before that.
See that? This is Amalek. Who hostages is being released? This isn't Hamas. That's not Hamas right there. That's Amalek right there. And they're saying you've done so much for us since you become president. rewind that real quick. Can you grab the charger real quick? Actually, you know what? I got it. Right, let's play this. See that? Hold on. Bear with me, Israel. Right. All praise to the Most High. Are we right back at it? Let me play this video.
Over the
What do you guys have to say to President Trump?
Thank
You.
You did it!
you. Thank you. Thank you.
This is amazing. Mr. President, we believe in you. We know you've done so much for us over the past, since you became a president, and even before that. And we trust you fulfill the mission until every hostage, every 48 of the hostages are home. Thank you so much. Blessed be the peacemakers.
God bless you, Mr. President. God bless America.
Very much. You just take care of yourselves.
And
The
hold on.
hostages will come back. They're coming.
Hold on.
Coming back on Monday.
Hold on. Time out. Last time I checked, Amalek doesn't follow the New Testament. We just dealt with an Amalekite last Shabbat. And we, as in WW3 Jersey Philly, right? If you're not subscribed already, go and subscribe to that channel. Right? If you find the kindness in your heart. But nevertheless, let's check this out again.
Are home. Thank you so much. Blessed be the peacemakers.
See, when it fits them and it's for their agenda, now it's blessed be the peacemakers. When the bombs is raining down, it's no longer blessed be the peacemakers.
God bless you, Mr. President. God bless America.
Thank you very much. You just take care of yourselves. The hostages will come back. They're all coming back on Monday.
And we hate they all die by Monday. We hope they all die by Monday. Just as they about to board that plane, Al-Qaeda just sweeps in. Saddam Hussein's son, his long-lost son, or really Osama bin Laden's son. That's what I really meant to say. Osama bin Laden's son sweeps in and guess what? It go down. Now America got to send troops to the Middle East. They already have troops stationed, but Lord willing, something shakes out. Whether it happens this Shabbat, this Monday, this upcoming week, the following week, we know what's going to happen because the Lord said it's going to happen. And we don't take our God to ever be a liar. The Most High said he confirmed these things by an oath. Let me get this precept real quick. Right, he confirmed his word by an oath. Man, he may make an oath. We don't trust in that oath. Brother may say, brother, I got you. Well, I get paid next week. I got you. I'm gonna pay you back. The next week come, the brother, he's ghost. Now, out of nowhere, the brother got a new phone number. This Hebrews chapter 6 and verse, I started 16. I started 15. And so, after he had patiently endured, he obtained the promise. For men verily swear by the greater, and an oath for confirmation is to them an end of all strife. Right. Look, brother, I got you. I'm going to do this, do that. Look, that's my word. That's your word? That's my word, brother. All right. Shake on it. Back in the day, you say word is bond. Shake on it, whatever the case may be. That's man. You can't trust that, brother. As soon as that brother get right back in that car, look, that word is over. Verse 17, wherein God willing more abundantly to show unto the heirs of promise the immutability of his counsel, meaning unchangeability, right? It's unchangeable. His promises, right? It says confirmed it by an oath. So the Most High, he keeps his covenant. When he makes a covenant, he keeps it. So much so that even when we broke the part of the covenant, he sent his son to redeem us, to bring us into a new covenant. But then you got men like this saying, "Blessed be the peacemakers," as they get to continue to try to reign in our land. Madness.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
They shedding tears, but they really gonna cry in that day. It's like I mentioned earlier. This is kind of it's the thing right now. Insider paper 12 minutes ago. President Trump, right, said Wednesday the United States would play a role in helping to rebuild war-torn Gaza and keep it safe. And guess what? If you didn't know this, pull this up real quick. What's his man? Jared Kushner. Jared Kushner, who's the son-in-law to Trump, he already had a plan to rebuild Gaza years ago. See, you can't trust this AI thing right here, right? It says, while there is no final Jared Kushner Gaza rebuild plan in effect, he has been involved in developing economic reconstruction. Hold on. Is no just the devil talk, man. Continuing on. And governance concepts for a post-war Gaza. So it's literally he has a plan. Largely under the framework of Donald Trump's broader Middle East initiatives, these ideas have evolved, drawing significant criticism, particularly in 2024 and 2025. Right? He has a whole, and then as they say that, they bring up the full list of these plans. He was one of the ones that helped orchestrate this deal. This is March 8th, and then they pull the links up. March 18th, 2024. It says Jared Kushner has praised the very valuable potential of Gaza's waterfront property and suggested Israel should remove citizens while it cleans up the strip. What the hell you mean remove citizens? Just remove citizens so we can clean it up. Well, who was in that land? Talking about these so-called Palestinians, these Arabs. How do you remove them out the land? You bomb them. Bomb them until they don't want to be there no more. Then you come up with a little peace plan, which is to kick them out the land. And now you got full control. Whenever these devils, and this is why they're known as the devils, when they say there's peace, or they try to cut a deal with you, you never trust them. You never trust them because this is how they get down. I want to get this in Psalm 58 and verse 2. Yea, in heart ye work wickedness, ye weigh the violence of your hands in the earth. The wicked are estranged from the womb, they go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. Their poison is like the poison of a serpent. They are like the deaf adder that stoppeth her ear, which will not hearken to the voice of charmers, charming never so wisely. So they may have in their hearts peace, serenity, comfort. They may try to do those things, but immediately there's going to be sudden destruction, whether from their side or from the other side. Or they may just, paint that the other side is doing it just so they can fulfill their will, which is ultimately the Most High's will. Because the Most High is going to bring those nations to that land, whether they want to or not. This is Psalm 55. Psalm 55, and I want to get Salakia. I'll start at 7. Psalm 55, verse 7. And it reads, it says, Lo, then will I wander far off and remain in the wilderness, Allah. I will hasten my escape from the windy storm and tempest. Destroy, O Yahweh, and divide their tongues. For I have seen violence and strife in the city. And that's what we're seeing. That's what we're seeing. Oh, not this one. This one right here. Right? That's what we're seeing. So when these men are speaking of there being peace talks, believe them not. When he's talking about removing men out to build up Gaza, build up the land of Israel, clean it all up. Let me read what he says. It says, it's a little bit of an unfortunate situation here. That's what Jared Kushner's saying. It says, but from Israel's perspective, I would do my best to move the people out and then clean it up. Kushner said. But I don't think that Israel has stated that they don't want the people to move back there afterwards. Okay. It says, Mossad replied that there was a lot of talk about, it's like a lot of talk about there. Kushner also said he thinks Israel should move civilians from Gaza to the Negev desert in southern Israel. Right, so we can rest right there. Let's go back to this. Let's go back to X. I believe it was actually, okay, it was over here. All right, let's go back here. See what else is shaking out right now in the last days. All right. Again, if you're not already, check out the X account, Watching for Israel on X. Pentagon source reveals to the New York Times that that now there are 10,000 soldiers deployed in Puerto Rico and in the Caribbean. It's allegedly. But if so, there's definitely something to keep watch over. All of this is allegedly. We try to get multiple sources for a lot of these things. Right? We may repost certain things, but chiefly you want to get these different sources because men could just be saying things, tweet it out because they got a bigger account, and that's just that. Right? We want to check up, validate these things as well through the spirit. Right? But we definitely want to repost that right there. We heard that devil on the phone right there. What's going on here? More of that folly, right? Right. So, Lord willing, if there's anything else to the spirit, we'll definitely Most High willing update brothers and sisters on that. But Most High willing was edified. Of course, we want to give our honor and our glory to Yahweh by Hashem Mashiach like it was shy. Remember to keep watching these last days. Enjoy the Feast of Tabernacles, right? For those that's keeping it at this time. You keep it on another calendar, whether you started or, had it previously or you're going to be enjoying it soon. Most High willing continue to rehearse the righteous acts. But with that, we want to bid a strong shalom. Kwame Sharala, keep watching these last days. Shalom.